The NBA insider Shams Charania reporting that the Hornets have contacted the league disputing the Lakers' failed physical. Scuttled their trade. LA had acquired Williams to give new star Luka Doncic a vertical threat, but sent him back after the physical. And that feels like that's what's missing right now when you look at LeBron and the Lakers, especially after last night's performance here. NBA insider, and that is senior insider Shams Charania with us now. Shams, where do things stand with the Hornets' dispute here over Mark Williams' physical?
Kevin, the Hornets, from my understanding, they remain in contact with the league office, essentially questioning the validity of the Lakers' failed physical exam and weighing potential options where they can potentially appeal this situation. As I reported over the weekend, the Lakers failed Mark Williams on his physical. They found multiple issues, from what I'm told, not related to his back, however. And so the Hornets and Lakers, they're on opposite ends of where this issue stands. In the Hornets' eyes, Mark Williams is healthy. He has a long potential career ahead. And the Lakers clearly feel like they found a couple of issues in that physical exam. But in the meantime, Kevin, sources told me that the Lakers are waiving Christian Wood to sign Alex Len, 7-foot free agent center. That's going to give them some depth. They've been with just one center since this failed test and since the trade deadline last week. Just Jackson Hayes. Now Alex Len, he's played. He's in his 12th NBA season. He will join them on their front line.
And that's important. You just need size. You need some matchups. You need 6 fouls. You need somebody that can get rebounds. And Len trying to fill that in just a limited amount of minutes. We will see how that plays out. Now, you reported earlier today Brandon Ingram secured an extension with the Raptors. Why were they comfortable with that new deal after trading for Ingram?
Kevin, just under a week after they traded for him, 3 years, $120 million extension. He's 27 years old. He's going to hit potentially free agency again in 2027 before turning 30 years old. They view Brandon Ingram as a perfect fit next to Scotty Barnes, a playmaker, a scorer that can complement Barnes as well as Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett. They really feel like his best days are ahead. It's been an injury-riddled few seasons for Brandon Ingram in New Orleans. He wanted a fresh start, from my understanding. He gets that in Toronto, and now they're going to try to continue to build around Scotty Barnes with the Raptors.
Okay, this season in only 18 games due to injury, Ingram averaging over 22 points per game, and injuries.
And the Lakers, a lot of that win streak came obviously without Luka, and while Anthony Davis was hurt, and their only serviceable center on their team right now is Jackson Hayes. Are the Lakers good? I think the Lakers might be good.
Yeah, I think they are. And I know that when the trade went through, they went from whatever they were to the 40-1 to 16-1 to come out of the West, and 13 or third best odds to sort of be that team that can emerge. I'm in. And by the way, how funny is it, John, that Hayes now I think he was 6 for 6 last night. It's like it's just the easiest buckets he looks like a legitimate center. The thing that struck me last night, and you're right, they were already playing well. They were doing it without AD. Credit to the Lakers for going on a run. The thing that really hit me last night that I suppose shouldn't have surprised me, I knew that Luka plus LeBron was going to be really good. What I think had forgotten or underestimated until I saw him on the floor, even though Doncic was really rusty and only hit, I think, one of his 7 3-point shots, the gravity he commands, and we usually talk about gravity like, Steph Curry, right? Just the attention that you have to get. It was amazing to watch, to see it when LeBron's on the floor, to see the gravity he commanded in a way that AD just never did, and how easy I think the game is going to be for LeBron James when Luka Doncic is on the floor. I guess I thought of it the other way around, that, wow, this is going to be so easy for this pair, and Luka's going to have – it's the other way. At 40 years old, LeBron's going to get to expel less energy. He's going to get easier buckets. He's going to find Luka for easy buckets. Just the I'm not sure outside of Steph Curry how many guys in the NBA command the same sort of attention, the gravity that he creates on the floor like Luka Doncic. And seeing that with LeBron and knowing they're going to get in rhythm eventually and that Luka's going to get where he needs to go, I'm actually more bullish on the Lakers this year than I had been when the trade went through. Look, are they better than the Thunder? No. Are they on the same level as every other team in the West outside of the Thunder? The ones that are sort of in the pecking order next, I think they are, the deficiencies notwithstanding.
Yeah, I'd throw them in there with the Nugs and the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, it really depends on Ja. And obviously everything Nuggets related goes through Joker. But now the Lakers have Luka and LeBron. And yeah, you're right. I mean, Luka's going to make it so much easier for LeBron. Yeah, those two guys making Jackson Hayes like look like a really good NBA basketball player last night. All he has to do is go throw down lobs. No problem. Jackson Hayes can pull that off. I was a little curious about, what are they going to do with their starting lineup? They went with Luka, LeBron, Rui, Austin Reeves, and Jackson Hayes. I think that's probably what it's going to be. And it appears to me that when Jackson Hayes is not on the floor, you're going to get a lot of small ball lineups with last night they were doing a lot of Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt combos, a little bit of point center LeBron. It looks like Rui might get a couple of minutes, basically patchwork center backup minutes when Jackson Hayes isn't out there. And then I guess maybe you go and look for somebody on the buyout market, but there could be worse things. If the problem here is that they don't have a backup center or even really a starting center because of the Mark Williams trade falling through, but you have Luka, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and look, so matchups are going to be really significant in sort of what the Lakers can or can't do. And I don't, to your point, the defensive liabilities they have, and the fact Jackson Hayes is great throwing down the lobs, but outside of that, and sort of the other end of the court, when they play a team like Denver, and Denver's always had their number, even when AD was there, there's going to be some problems. But if the Lakers got the right matchups, and they made a run to the conference finals like they did a few years ago when they were, if memory serves, a play-in team, or even if they get to the second round this year and they play whoever, some good team, 6-7 games really tough, it's going to feel like building towards something inevitably great in LA. Whereas let's say AD comes back and is healthy and they do something like second round, play tough, and they go out, everyone's going to say, well, we're in the finals last year, you idiots. It's everything about what the Lakers are building and how I think we're going to view it is going to be positive because it's the start of something.
It's the start of something, and I'm glad you brought that up, that, they're building something for the future, that it's going to be fun this year, but then this offseason and moving forward, we'll see what other additions they make, because the Mark Williams trade fell through, and you and I discussed this on yesterday's program, but I think it's important to repeat here. They end up now getting that 2031 first-round pick back and the 2030 pick swap. So they might have dodged a bullet a little bit on Mark Williams, who, by the way, Bill, so this trade gets rescinded. The Lakers give him the physical. You and I like Mark Williams a lot, but he's had a lot of injury issues. He's missed 105 out of 211 possible games in his career. He gets shipped back to Charlotte. Charlotte puts out a statement saying, hey, we welcome back Mark Williams. We always wanted him to be part of the team. And then, Bill, they go to the commissioner and the league, and they complain. Evidently, there was a statement here that they are, quote, exploring options to dispute the Lakers' failed physical assessment of Mark Williams, and they are weighing avenues to challenge it. So even though they said they like Mark Williams back, now all of a sudden they kind of don't want the trade to be rescinded, and they'd rather Mark Williams play in LA than in Charlotte. I mean, it doesn't seem to me like they believe in Mark Williams' health either.
No, and this is bizarre and sort of pathetic. The only analogy I could come up with is if your high school girlfriend broke up with you, John, and you decided to go to her dad and ask him to overrule and make her go to the high school prom with you. Adam Silver's, they're not, I mean, look, I don't know. This is unprecedented. The people I've texted, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. The NBA is not going to overrule and force the Lakers to consummate this trade. And I saw on social media, which means it has to be true, right? It must be true that the team doctor for the Lakers had been a long-time NBA league employee, so he has relationships with some of the people who'd be making these decisions. It's just, and this just, to your point, I think speaks to how much they did not want Mark Williams on that team and the degree to which they felt like they had done really well in a trade where they had been widely mocked by a lot of NBA Twitter, a lot of NBA X, and a lot of NBA Blue Sky. So it's just in the bizarro of all bizarro NBA trade deadlines, the weirdness just keeps up. This is supposed to end after the trade deadline. Last Thursday, 3 Eastern, whatever it was, the weirdness and madness is supposed to stop, and it just keeps on keeping on.
It has not stopped. I mean, how bad does Mark Williams' health have to be for the Lakers, who are desperate to find a good athletic big to put on the floor and be a lob threat? Apologies again to Jackson Hayes, with Luka and LeBron, for them to bring him in and go, oh man, this isn't good. I mean, he in his injury past, he's had a back issue. Evidently, it wasn't about the back, and reportedly, it's been about his knee and about his foot. And now you have two teams who are like, no, you take him. I don't know what the Hornets are thinking beyond, they really wanted to get that haul from the Lakers, but they basically, didn't they just tank any trade value that Mark Williams would have moving forward?